Good morning and welcome to another video. Today we're at Rivington and we're doing the Rivington 5 peaks, which is Great Hill, Noon Hill, Winter Hill, Two Lads and Rivington Pike. But first, before we do that, we're going to do Lower Rivington reservoirs. We're also going to do White Coppice and make our way around Angles Arc and show you some of those views and some of those walks. We've parked up at Knoll House car park, which is just opposite Rivington High School. It's free, which is nice. And also we're going to take in Liverpool Castle, which is one of the first sights we'll see before we start walking along the reservoir. So there's the car park there. It's just to my left. The high school's behind me. I'm going to start walking down there, and after about 5 minutes we'll be coming to Liverpool Castle, and I'll show you around there once we get there. Liverpool Castle was it was built by Lord Rivington, I believe, and he wanted to build a replica of a ruined castle, but before the replica was built, I think he died, and obviously building of the castle stopped, and basically it's what it is today. So what we'll do, we'll get to the castle and I'll show you around. So we're just inside the grounds of Liverpool Castle. What's great about it is, behind me now, obviously you start to see the reservoir, and basically on this walk, or the start of this walk, we just follow the reservoir all the way along until we come to White Coppice. If you just look behind me, you can see Winter Hill and Rivington behind me. That's a great shot, that. Last week when I came you couldn't see those, but it's a really nice day. But yeah, great shot there of Winter Hill and Rivington Pike. Well, yeah, I'm just going to swing you around. This is Lower Rivington Reservoir here, and as we go further up, you've got Upper Rivington Reservoir, you've got Yarrow Reservoir, and I think Angles Arcs Reservoir as well. Just have a walk inside castle walls themselves. Like I say, it's a great place to come and explore, especially if you're a kid. Great place to come and play hide and seek. Look down here. Looks like something that might have been an old fireplace there. Been a lot of water and lot. Some old steps there. I think they've probably taken them down because people would have been climbing up and then climb up onto the walls and then potentially falling off, so probably why they've taken those steps off there. But yeah, that's Liverpool Castle. Like I said, I've probably not got all the facts behind it. But like I said, I know it was initially started being built by the order of Lord Rivington, and he wanted a replica of Liverpool Castle. But it it didn't get finished because he died. But still, you got what he wants. You got what he wants, I suppose. A replica of a ruined castle. So as we leave the castle, what will happen is now we're just going to follow the edge of the reservoirs. Lower Rivington Reservoir, Upper Rivington Reservoir, then we'll hit Yarrow Reservoir and we'll head towards White Coppice, and from White Coppice we'll start making our way up then. It's a lovely little start to walk this, because straight away you're just treated to nice open views of the reservoir. So you got the lovely woodland on your right hand side, looking up to Rivington Pike and Winter Hill, which you might just be able to see through the trees. And then to your left, the waters of Lower Rivington. So once you've been walking along the reservoir for about half an hour, you'll come to a car park which is just behind me. You'll also come to, I think it's called Rivington Primary School, and you're coming up to Horribin Lane, and again nothing really changes. You'll still follow the reservoir. However, what was Lower Rivington Reservoir becomes Upper Rivington Reservoir. So we're going to be walking down there where those people are there. But here you get fantastic views of both reservoirs. You can park up on here, I've done it many times. You can park up on Horribin Lane and you can start this walk which we're doing today from here. But we started from down there, made our way along the shoreline, and we're going to go up there again, following it along, and about a couple of miles up there you'll have White Coppice. We'll also hit Yarrow Reservoir, and then we'll start making our way upwards towards Great Hill, then on to Noon Hill, Winter Hill, Two Lads, and then lastly Rivington Pike. But like I was saying, from here you just follow the path. Actually got the Rivington there, but you just follow the path down here, and you're just basically doing that until you get to White Coppice. After you've been walking about 10 minutes from Horribin Lane, where we looked at the reservoirs, you'll come to Yarrow Reservoir, which is just up there, and we're going to have a walk there. There's a bit of a hole in the wall here that we can walk through. You don't have to go up there, but it's nice to see. There's a path which just walks along the side of the reservoir there, but it's just a nice couple of minute walk to the top there, and at the top you'll be able to get a view of Lower and Upper Rivington reservoirs. You'll be able to see Winter Hill and Rivington Pike in the background, which you'll probably already be able to see. But it's really nice to have a look at, and it takes a minute. Look at that. What a view that is. And also up here I can give you a better idea of the walk we've done and what we're going to do. So as you can see in the distance, so you've got Lower Rivington Reservoir and Upper Rivington Reservoir. We've walked along that. We've got Yarrow Reservoir here, and what we're going to be doing, we'll be basically continuing to walk about a mile up there, which will get to White Coppice and Angles Arc, and then from there We'll make our way up there and at some point we're going to Joe's Memorial. Joe was the fell runner who used to run the fells along Rivington. There's a lovely little spot there to have a brew with a view, and we basically take the ridge along. There's Great Hill in the distance there. I don't know if you can make it out. Great Hill will be our first peak of the day. Then we carry our way along the moors, and then here we're going to go up there and we're going to hit Noon Hill first, make our way to Winter Hill, which you can see in the background there, and then across from Winter Hill we'll then hit Two Lads and then Rivington Pike, which is just there in the background, and then we're going to drop back down through the Japanese gardens and then back down to the car. But especially on a day like today, what a view. The trees are just in the distance there, that's Lead Mines Clough. If you check my previous videos you'll see when I did Lead Mines Clough. Highly recommend that walk as well. It's a great little walk. And to get to Lead Mines Clough, when you get to the end of Yarrow Reservoir, we're going to take a left. But all you need to do is take a right and you're at the start of Lead Mines Clough, and it's a great little circular walk. Only takes about half an hour or so. And there's also another memorial there as well, the plane crash from, I think it's World War II. And again, another little spot, the bench where you can have a brew and a snack, and it gives you great views over to Rivington and all around, to be fair, not just Rivington. But yeah, great views. What a view. And also you'll see the spill here from the reservoir. I mean, a lot of people always go to Rivington Pike, which I understand, but if you come to Lower Rivington, there's lots of great stuff to see. And look at that. Brilliant. What a view that is. So it was just down there 30 seconds ago, and it goes across and then towards down there. That's why I always come up this way quite a lot, because you get to see views like that. And what we'll do now is we'll just follow the path down, and like I said, we can turn right towards Lead Mines Clough, but we're going to turn left and then we'll head up towards White Coppice, Angles Arc, and then start heading up towards Great Hill. So from Yarrow Reservoir we then hit Angles Arc Reservoir, which is just down there. Don't know if you can pick it up. And then we'll come to start what I would say is the first climb. Only a couple of minutes, but it starts getting the legs working. Gets the body nice and warm if it's not already. And we start making our way up to White Coppice. And from White Coppice, then we climb even further up towards Joe's Memorial. Only a minute or so that climb there. But as you can see, the views are still really, really nice. That wind still dropped down. still quite what I would call a woodland walk. Still part of Angles, that reservoir to the right of us. About 4 miles in now. Cracking walk. Now when you get to this part of the walk, what you can do if you want, you can go up the farmland there, and where the wall is there, you can just follow the wall along and it takes you to White Coppice Farm. And if you've not done that before, I suggest you do that, because it's a really nice part of the walk. We're not doing that today. I'm just going to stay on this path here straight ahead, and that's going to take us to White Coppice Cricket Ground. And when we get to White Coppice Cricket Ground, we're going to take a right, and then we'll start heading up onto the moor, and that's where you'll start seeing a lot more of the views of the surrounding area. So the first part of the walk is lovely, it's nice and flat, but then I would say certainly the next part of the walk to Rivington Pike, you've got quite a few steep climbs. The first steep climb is from White Coppice Cricket Ground up towards Joe's Memorial. Then it's a relatively flat walk from there to Great Hill, and then from Great Hill you make your way along the ridge line, or the moor, and you drop down. You don't realise on the walk actually, to be fair, but then you drop down quite a way, and then you come to Rivington Road, and then you start climbing up again to Noon Hill, and then from Noon Hill you'll slowly make your way up even higher to Winter Hill, and that's the highest point of the day, Winter Hill. And then you drop down a little bit to Two Lads, and then from Two Lads you drop down quite a way, to be fair, to then make your way back up to Rivington Pike, and then from Rivington Pike it's all downhill back to the car, which we'll do via the Japanese Gardens. So we've got White Coppice Cricket Ground to our left here, and what we're going to do in a minute is just turn a right and just start making our way upwards. I used to play cricket, and I've never played at White Coppice Cricket Ground. If I'm honest with you, I never knew it was there until I started hiking. But it's an absolutely gorgeous cricket ground, and I'd love to play a match there. I'll just negotiate all this muddy path here and I'll show you. I mean, look at that for a setting. I would absolutely love to play cricket there. There's also a cafe and toilets up there if you need to, but in summer when the sun's shining, it's nice and warm. What better place to play cricket? But we're going to take a right now, and I'll be able to start to show you where we're going. So we're going to follow the path here. I don't know if you can make them where then people are just coming down there. We're going to make our way upwards, and this is where the tough walking starts. Sun's back out. Let's crack on. So we've just done that little climb there, and according to the wife, straight ahead you can see Blackpool Tower. I'm not gonna lie to you, with my eyes I can't see. I don't think the GoPro's gonna pick that up. But what views! Like I said, we're gonna slowly make our way up and across, and then just in the distance, so I think that's Great Hill. That's the second highest point of the day after Winter Hill, but that'll be the first peak we hit. But before then, we're just going to make our way up steadily, and then we'll hit Joe's Memorial first. And I usually sit down there and have a brew. Just back there, I took my fleece off in my hoodie, which was underneath my fleece because it was getting quite warm. But we've just got to the top now, or towards the top, and that wind's picked up again. So it's surprising, just that little bit of wind can really bring that chill back. But as long as I keep moving, I'll be alright. This drive jacket though, it's a great windbreaker. It's nice and light. It's not very thick. It's not waterproof. So for heavy rain, it's not going to last very long and keep you dry. But for days like this where wind comes and goes, it really is ideal. But yeah, look at that. Cracking walk, cracking views. It's quite busy today as well. I think people are making advantage of the first day where we've had no rain. Past few weeks it's either raining or just a bit miserable. Well, today it's almost like it's cold, and it's sunny and it's not raining, so people are getting outside and enjoying the great outdoors. Nice little walk up there, gets the lungs working, gets the legs pumping, gets you nice and warm as well. So, Great Hill along the moors. If you can make it out, you got Winter Hill just in the background there. So we've just got to the top of that first, what I would call steady climb. Come from over there, and we just need Joe's Memorial now. Just where those trees are. Have a brew there. I would say it's about a 20-minute tough hike there, or tough walk up, depending on fitness. But really nice. It was nice today, a lot nicer than last time. Like I said, last time I came it was very boggy, very wet, because there's been lots of rain. Where today it's dry, so you could easily make out the path. Weren't suffering with bog foot. Really nice views. So like I said, just coming up to Joe's Memorial now, and it's a memorial to a bloke called Joe, who was a fell runner, and I think he ran for a local club, and he was often seen running these fells, and when he passed away they made like a bench for him. And for me it's a nice place just to get your coffee out, have a brew, because it kind of marks the halfway point, give or take, in this walk. So it's nice just to sit down, have a snack and have a brew. Especially on a day like today where you do get the views and you can see everything from Winter Hill to Rivington towards Blackpool. Great Hill, Noon Hill. You can see little roads left there, plaque for runners. But for now, let's grab a brew of a view and enjoy a snack, and I might even make conversation with this little lady here. Today's brew. With a view. Kevin used. Oh, get me a cookie out.
Where are your cookies?
Top there, I think. Might be without me.
Right, yeah.
That feels better. Just had a brew. Had a couple of cookies. Normally when I come on a walk it's chicken and cheese buttered or a bit of chicken, but today just a couple of cookies. I've got some cereal bars if I need it. Just from Joe's Memorial, the side of there you've got the ruins of a farmhouse, which is just behind me here. It's called the Lost Farms. Explore the history of Brinskull Moor. There were once 50 farms in this landscape. Now these traditional stone longhouses built in the 1800s and 1700s are mostly just low piles of stones, and that's what you can see here, just ruins of old farmhouses. And that's what's good about just exploring Rivington. A lot of people think it's just Rivington Pike and to a lesser degree Winter Hill, but if you come around the moors you'll see lots of nice places. I mean, Leadmines Clough's another great example of a lovely walk which isn't as busy. Again, on these walks you'll see hikers, far runners, mountain bikers. That's what makes a walk so good. So we're just about, I'd say, 5 minutes away from Great Hill, but I'm just bringing you back so you can just look at the great views. You've got Blackburn over there and Darwin. I think when we get to the top of Great Hill you'll be able to see Darwin Tower, and that's a walk I want to do in the future. So the same walk I've done today, but make it a bit longer, and when we get to Great Hill I think you can turn left and make your way over the moors towards Darwin Tower, and that's what I do want to do. But yeah, really nice walk, great views. Probably not far from the first peak of the day, which is Great Hill. That's what's so funny about this walk. It seems like ages, or it seems like such a long time before you get your first peak, which it is. But then after you get your first peak of Great Hill, they all soon follow, really. So there's two walks on this, or two types of walks. Your first walk is low and relatively easy because it's flat and you've got the views of the reservoirs, and the second part of the walk is quite hilly and there's a bit of work to do, but the views are brilliant, as you can see. car park to the summit of Great Hill is 7 miles. Not sure how long it's taken us, if I'm honest with you. Maybe 3 hours. You've got to bear in mind I've been recording, stopping, I've had a brew. It's really nice to come away it's like this, purely because most of the time I've come up it's all been clagged in. As I was saying before, you can see Darwin Tower just over there. You might not be able to pick up on the GoPro. Darwin Tower is just over there. Nice, that's a walk I want to do in the future. There's the summit of Great Hill, and just in the distance there you've got Darwin Tower. What a great walk this is. Like I said, you've got Winter Hill over there and the Rivington Moor. Great Hill just behind us. Darwin Tower over there. See across the moors over to Blackburn. Great walk. Just at Great Hill, which is just behind me there. And because the weather you can see for miles. Darwin just behind me. Darwin Tower just there. You've got Winter Hill and Rivington just there. Absolutely crack of a morning. Views for miles. Been able to see Blackpool Tower. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So we've just left Great Hill now, and it's just a steady plod along a nice path up to Winter Hill. But before we get to Winter Hill, we'll take a slight right because we want to hit Noon Hill. You can just see Winter Hill in the distance there. Looks a lot closer than what it actually is. Be careful of the water. Wasn't as steep as I thought. So I'll bring you back when we're getting close to the Rivington Road, just coming off the moor, and I'll show you where we go then. One thing I've got to point out when you come on these walks across the moors, you've got to be really careful about where you put your foot, because you come across water like this when it's hiding the slabs. But if you just venture off, I hope I can get this on camera, just venture off, look how deep that goes. I mean, that's at my walking stick, which is about 5 foot, and I could still push that further down. Look how crazy is that? So if you miss your step, I mean, that's 1.5 meters, so 150 centimeters. And if you're just walking, not concentrating, put your foot down there, you're going to end up waist. Look at that, waist deep in, well, crap, bog water. What's funny then, we came across a couple. We just walked across that, and we came across a couple. They was walking that way, and they was like, "Oh, when do we get across here?" And I showed them how deep it was, and yeah, it was quite eye-opening for them. So whenever you're walking on the moors, it's a good idea to get your sticks out, not so much to help you walk, but just judge how deep the water is if you can place your foot. But look at the path. Path's cracking. Can't argue with the path in most of the places. And I did used to wonder how they got these paths across the moors. But if you watch my video, which I did previous to this one, where I did the 5 peaks but not including Great Hill, you'll see the helicopter which is flying these big slabs around the moors. And I would imagine we've got some fantastic volunteers which help lay them, but still that's still going to be a big job to put these slabs down. I mean, look at the size of them, they're huge. But we're just coming up to Splitter's Edge, just spinning around. It's just a slight climb, and again when you get over here you will start seeing views of Winter Hill again. So again, cracking views all around though. Get that Saddleworth over there, back around. Not far now to which we get to Rivington Road, and then when we get to Rivington Road we take a right and quickly pick up the path which will take us towards the path up to Newton Hill, and that's where we're going. I suppose that's what's good about this walk, or these walks, the good training walks. Like I said, we're in the lakes on Friday, we're doing Fairfield Horseshoe. In 4 weeks time we're doing the Edale Skyline, which is about 80 miles, so this route's a cracking training walk for that. About 3 weeks after that we're doing the Yorkshire 3 Peaks, which is a cracker of a walk. Brutal if you've not done any training, but an absolute cracker. And then after that, in August, I'm doing, I think it's called the Borrowdale 10 Peak Challenge, and basically I'm climbing the 10 peaks in the Lake District. And I can't remember all of them, but they include Scarfell Pike, Great Gable, Great End, Base Brown, Green Gable, and I've Lingmel, and I missed a few out. But basically I tick off 10 Wainwrights in that, and 5 of them are in the top 10 of the highest mountains in England. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that's why I need to get out. I need to keep the training up. I need to keep getting the miles in the legs. So when I do come to those walks, I manage them as well as I possibly can. I think I said as easy as I can, as well as I possibly can, because they're not easy walks then. Regardless of how much training you do, they're not easy walks then. So we're just coming up to the walk off the moor now. You can see Winter Hill nice and clear. And we're coming up to the road. And what I was saying to you before in the past, if you can make it out on the GoPro there, I've gone straight up, but the path's not very good, and also the climb up at the end's a bit almost sketchy, which is quite steep. What we're going to do, I don't know if you can make it out, just where those cars are there, there's a track which goes up there, about 100 yards, 200 yards up there. You can make your way by a path along the side. We're going to pick up Newton Hill, and from there we'll pick up Winter Hill, and going that way the walk's not as steep, and we can tag another peak. So that's what we're going to do. I would say from when we sat down to when you hit the road, probably an hour's walking. And again, I know I keep saying it, been really lucky, brilliant views. And for those of you who are watching, because you're doing the organised walk in a few weeks, which I've put on, what I'm going to do on that walk, just look down there in the distance, there's a car park. I'm going to park one of the cars up there. So this is roughly the just over the halfway point of the walk, and if anyone's struggling at that point, I'm gonna have a car there so they can then be driven back to the start. So if any of you want to come on the walk but you're worried that you might not be able to do the entire distance, or you're in case something happens, at about the 8 mile mark there's that car park there, and if anyone's struggling we can give you a lift back to the car park, Knoll House car park. So yeah, what I'll do, I'll bring you back when we start the ascent up to Noon Hill. So we've just come off the moor there. That's the path we've come down. And then you come to the road. You've got two options. You can either go that way, up there, but I won't recommend that. For me, if you just go along, if you just turn right and go along the road, it's a couple of minutes walk. You'll come to a track, go up the track, and then you'll see quite a few places where you can make your way up the side of the hill to get to Winter Hill. And for me, it's a lot better route. It's not as wet or as boggy that way. You don't have the steep climb at the end, which from memory, looking back at the time, it looked sketchy, but that was my first walk. I don't think it was as sketchy as I remember, if I'm honest with you, but it's still quite a steep climb. But the walk to it was just wet and boggy, and it was time consuming because you was always looking where to place your foot. Where the two other ways of going up, so if you go through the first walk up, it's steep, but not as steep, if that makes sense. Lot more manageable. If you go past that one and then take the second path up, you can tick off Noon Hill. Now, if you're not into ticking off peaks or whatever, do the first one. But for me, I quite like ticking them off. That bike got a bit close then, didn't it? Jesus Christ. So as I was saying, we're now going to go up there. Just be careful crossing over. Now we're making our way up here. I was struggling to remember the name of the road before. The main road that was on, that's Rivington Road, and like I said, you're on there for a couple of minutes and you take this current road which is Belmont Road. It's a lovely little path as well, and if you follow Belmont Road without going off it, it'll take you all the way to Pigeon Tower, and then past Pigeon Tower you'll see Rivington Pike, and it's a little 5-minute walk from there. So it's a lovely road, is Belmont Road. But I couldn't, back there I was talking about, I couldn't remember the name of it. So just walking up Belmont Road, as I touched on before, this is your first sty, and instead of going up the direct way, if you go through there, you can kind of see how the path zigzags up. I highly recommend taking that one instead of going straight ahead at Rivington Road. But what we're going to do, we're going to go straight ahead, because about another 5-minute walk further up you've got the second sty, and what that's going to allow us to do is take us direct up to Noon Hill and tag our second peak of the day before moving on to the highest point of the day, Winter Hill. So like I said, you come to the second sty, which is here, and that's going to take us up to our second peak of the day, Noon Hill. What I would say about this path up to Noon Hill this way, it's not a very obvious path, so I do think it's not a hard walk up, but when I'm looking it's not really obvious where the path is, so it is good having some kind of GPS navigation, maybe using your phone, or next time using my watch. If you use a map and compass, even better. But like I said, it's not hard to get up. It's just I can't see the path clearly marked. But I think we're nearly there. Yeah, I think I've come off the path slightly. I think the path more to the right, but I can see the cairn, or the pile of stones, if that's what you want to call it, just there. It weren't too bad, that was only 5 minutes. Yeah, I came slightly off the path there, so that's the path on the way up all the way down. Not bad much. But here we are, second peak of the day, Noon Hill. Still cracking views of all around. You can really get a sense of what we've done today. So down there, lower Rivington Reservoir, upper Rivington Reservoir, and over there you've got Anglesark Reservoir, and then White Coppice in the distance. We made our way up along the moor there, all the way up, and then in the distance we've hit Great Hill, and then we come back down the ridge, up the road there, and come up to our second peak, which is Noon Hill. And now we're going to go on to Winter Hill. You can see two lads in the distance there where the stick is, and then we'll move on to Rivington Pike there. There we are. Look at that, glorious. Mrs. Miller smashing out to the park as well. Noon Hill completed. Winter Hill, we're coming to get you. When you're walking on the moors, always be careful where you place your feet. Look at that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get off now. Oh, nice stuff. Oh. You get that? Yep. Okay, just leaving Noon Hill behind us now. Second peak done, and we're on to Winter Hill. Just there. Quite a steady path up. Did it last week. About 15-20 minutes walk, I think. Might not even be that much to Winter Hill. And then at Winter Hill, depending on how we feel, might have a brew there, and on to two lads. So we're just coming up to the trig point of Winter Hill. Still glorious weather. Still been able to see constant views of the TV mast. But Winter Hill, trig point, is just there. Nice steps leading up to it. It's usually quite boggy as well, so you've got to be careful where you put your feet. But our third peak of the day, Winter Hill. There we go. Safely done. Highest point of the day, Windsor Hill. Third peak of the day, Windsor Hill. Look at that. Brilliant. Great views all around. So we've just left Windsor Hill now. Windsor Hill's behind us. We're just going to be walking past the TV mast, which is there. And then we'll be picking up the path to Two Lads. Now last week when I was here there was building a path. There's building around Two Lads, so I think they've actually made a new path from here to Two Lads. But we'll have a look and we'll see what we can see. But if they've built a new path, it'd be great that. Behind us, TV tower, leaving that behind. Now if you wanted to in the past, you can make your way to Rivington. Use the path over there and head over there. What we're going to do, we're heading to Two Lads over there. So what you can do is just follow this access road down like I did last week, and then just a short detour to Two Lads. And like I touched on last week, it looks like they're building a new path. Not sure where that new path's being built from or to, but we'll see. But it does look like it's going to lead directly from there all the way to Two Lads. But if I'm honest, it doesn't really need it, because Two Lads is there in the distance, and if you just follow this access road, you're at Two Lads in 5 minutes. So it seems a lot of hard work for a path when you've got this access road here and then a slight cut across. But who knows? Oh, it'll become clear. So I was saying before, there's it looks like they're building a path. Well, you can see the path here. So from where it was before, where the TV mast is there, they've not yet finished it all. But there's going to be a path from up there, where the guy's over there in the orange, and it's leading all the way down and all the way up to Two Lads. So that's great, that. So you got this lovely path now, which I'm assuming is going to lead us all the way up to Two Lads. This hasn't been here long. It weren't here last week, but obviously the helicopter was dropping the slabs down, and in the space of a week it's done great work to get this down and walkable. To be fair, the path as it currently stood from Windsor Hill to Two Lads wasn't that bad. I mean, it's just to the left of us there. You followed it down across the bridge there and up, so it wasn't that bad at all. But the fact they'd put a nicely laid one down is even better, especially because it might mean I won't fall on my arse like I did last week. If anyone's seen that video, check that out. Still giving me grief as well, but what can you do? Crack on. But we're just coming up to the summit of Two Lads, called Two Lads because it's got two cairns, and it's on Crooked Hill Edge, and that's what it's called. the entire hill here is called Crooked Hill, or Crooked Edge, I believe. I don't think there's a cairn for Crooked Edge Hill. It's just two giant cairns. And there's a new cairn as well at Two Lads, which I'll actually show you in just a tick. So you got the big cairn there, which is currently fenced off. Not quite sure why it's fenced off, to be honest. Maybe they're in the process of rebuilding it, or maybe it's because it's so big they don't want anyone going near in case one of those stones falls. So that's your first of the cairns there. Oh, there's another path there as well. So there's a couple of new paths being built up here, which is nice. So yeah, anyway, the big cairn there at Two Lads. And you've got a smaller cairn here. Still just as imposing, to be fair, when I say smaller. Yeah. Still got the cracking views all around. Reebok Stadium in the background. Oh, there's a tough sheet stadium, it's called now. It's not called the Reebok. I think a lot of people do as well. You can see for miles today. It's lovely. And we'll see the new cairn which they've built up here. Really like the look of these new cairns they've done. Touched on last week's video, telling you where everything is. So Blackpool Tower that way. Now you could see Blackpool Tower earlier on. You've got Rivington Pike, which obviously you can see over there, and Snowdonia National Park is in that direction. Liverpool Docks over there. Yeah. Anyway, what we're going to do now, we're going to leave Two Lads and make our way over to Rivington Pike. So it's going to drop down a little bit, getting a bit more height, and then after that we'll make our way back. But this is our fourth summit of the day now, after Great Hill, Noon Hill, Winter Hill, and now Two Lads. Next, Rivington Pike number 5. So we're just following George's Lane now. Come down off the track from Two Lads, and we're just going to go up here, and you can see Rivington just at the top there. It's got a little chilly actually, if I'm honest with you. Sun's gone in, so it's so I've kept the down jacket on to keep me nice and toasty warm. But yeah, soon be our last peak of the day, Rivington Pike. So we're just going to make our way up to the top. Hopefully we'll still have the views. But yeah, been really good. So we've got the views actually, to fair, didn't look behind me then. According to the wife, you can see the sea over there. You won't be able to pick that up on the GoPro. Getting towards late afternoon now, so I would imagine the pike won't be as busy. I do know when we started the walk at 10:30, it was certainly busy around the lower reservoirs and the upper reservoirs, and we're up towards White Coppice. So I would imagine Rivington Pike at that time would have been quite busy. But like I said, it's late afternoon now, so probably not as busy at the top. I can see a few people spinning around so you can have a look. Look at that though. Still getting some cracking views, and like it seems on the entire walk, you can still see the TV mast. No matter where we've been today, I've always been able to see the TV mast. I don't think I've ever been on a walk in Rivington where I've constantly had that in view. Nearly every time I've come on a walk, it comes in and out of view with low cloud. So I'm just going to put you away again, just while I make my way up the top, but we'll be there in about 2 or 3 minutes. So there we have it, the last peak of the day, Rivington Pike, peak number 5. What a walk. You can see Pigeon Tower just across there, and you get a good sense of what we've done today now. So we started over there, the Liverpool Castle, followed the reservoir along, which is Lower Rivington Reservoir, Upper Rivington Reservoir. You'll have Yarrow Reservoir just there in the distance. We've got Angles Arms Reservoir, and we followed it along to White Coppice, and then from White Coppice we made our way up along the ridge, which you can see over there, along, and then I don't know if you can pick up on the camera, Great Hill in the distance there, was there a couple of hours ago, and then from Great Hill we walked along the moor, dropped down up Belmont Road and hit Noon Hill, which is over there. From Noon Hill across to Winter Hill, and then from Winter Hill made our way to Two Lads, which is just there, Two Lads, and then we dropped down, picked up George's Lane, and from George's Lane made our way up to Rivington Pike to our last peak of the day.
Heart rate 125.
Been an absolutely brilliant walk, as I hope you can pick up from the views. And then what we're going to do in just a moment, probably sit up here for a couple of minutes just to enjoy the views. But we'll make our way down. We'll make our way down there, and then we'll cut through to Japanese Gardens, back down, and back to the car park, just where we was at the start. Brilliant.
I think that's
Peak number 5 done. So up to this point we're at 14 miles, probably more like 16 when we get back to the car. Just looking to my left there to just appreciate those views. we've got the pike behind me. What I'll do, I'll link the route in a description, so if anyone wants to do the walk, you can easily follow it via GPX. If you do this walk and it's open, check out this little snack shack here. If you come from down the burn and park up there at Rivington Hall Burn and come up, it's open quite a lot of the time. It's a great place to grab a brew, grab something to eat just before you head up to Rivington Pike. We're making our way down now. What we're going to do is hit the Japanese gardens, and again, that's a lovely place to see. I forgot to mention as well, back when I was at the top there where that cafe is, that's Belmont Road. And don't know if you remember early on in the video, Belmont Road is, if you follow that road, it takes you to Rivington Road, just where we started going up towards Noon Hill. So if you come up this way, which is a lot shorter, and you want to do Noon Hill, just turn left there and follow it all the way down, and you'll come to the styes, which we came to. But we're just going up to the Japanese gardens now. Yeah, but it's late afternoon, it's really quiet as well, which is nice. It's really nice. I think we're going to take a left here. You can go right, but left is gets us to the car quicker. Look at that. It's the sun shining down onto the lake there. Really nice. It's not bad for a Sunday afternoon stroll, is it? Really nice. I mean, even if you don't want to do a big walk, you just want a couple of hours out, park at Rivington Hall Burn, come up here, have a picnic. Lovely place, lots of places just to sit and have a brew and have something to eat. Something that just, you know, blanket there. I highly recommend it. Or especially if you come late afternoon, like I said. I mean, weather's glorious and there's nobody about here now. It's all peaceful. There you go, they've got the right idea there, haven't they? Just chilling out there. With a dog enjoying a bit of peace and quiet on a Sunday afternoon. Lovely bench just to sit and have a brew. Let's see what it's saying here. Japanese gardens here now. This area was designed in 1922 by Thomas H. Mawson. Lots of great restoration work going on around Rivington in the recent years. During the restoration work of 2019, approximately 800 cubic metres of silt were removed from the lake, and a large crack was found in the concrete liner. The crack, the 3 islands and the lip of the waterfall have been repaired. Now the water once again flows as impressive as Lever and Mawson intended. Really nice. There's the waterfall just over there. When it's been raining lots, you can really appreciate that. Falls quite heavily. Start making my way back down now. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I appreciate that a lot of the footage you've seen is very similar to my video from last week. However, as you can appreciate, I wanted to give the full walk of Lower Rivington Reservoir up to Yarrow Reservoir and Angles Arc, and then up towards Great Hill, and then across the moors, which I didn't do last week. But like I said, on Friday I'm doing the Fairfield Horseshoe, so off to the lake, so hopefully something a bit different. But if you like the video, let me know, and if you like some of the other videos I've been doing, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I can give you some more content which you like. But I'll catch you soon.